Well, hello everybody and welcome back to honestly what is probably one of the most terrifying days of my YouTube career, and that is up there with posting my first video, which I may need to remind some of you was against my will. I did not necessarily choose to start this channel, but I was shoved into it by a loving and wonderful girlfriend. That's part of why she shocks the muse, because she kind of inspires me to do things and try and better myself. So, you know, nothing wrong with that, right? Why is today terrifying? Well, you might think it's because I've run out of seeds to plant, but that's not true. You might think it's because some of my fish have died, but that's not true either. The real reason that today is absolutely freaking me out is the Patreon page went live today. So now at the bottom of all my video descriptions, you're going to find this link, something about if you want to become a Patreon of the channel, check out the link below. If you go to Patreon and then just type JT Bear in the little search bar they've got, you'll probably find my channel pretty quick. It's a fairly unique name on most sites, so yay, not too many people have stolen it. Although I have found a couple of social media sites where there were other JT Bears. Nothing posted, but the name was already taken. I have to say that kind of amuses me in that sort of, what, are you hoping that I have enough money to pay you for my name or something on this social media site? That's part of why I don't use some of the social media sites that are available. I'm not gonna pay for my own name, you know? So, yes. I do have an Instagram account that I hardly ever use. It's true. I have a Twitter account that I use only a little bit more often than the Instagram account. I have a Facebook fan page, and I do get to that on a pretty regular basis, but not as often as I should. And those of you who message me on there know that that's the case. But mostly I have a YouTube page, and if you want to get a hold of me, just message me in the comments down below, because private messaging barely ever works. And really, if you need to keep it private, go to my About page, check out my email, and I'll get back to you in a week or so. I'm, again, not as good about checking my emails as I should be, but it's a long story there. There are reasons that I don't check my email as often as I maybe should. Anywho, so yeah, the Patreon page is live today, and let's get talking about some garden-related stuff, shall we? Over here on the starting table, there's still nothing coming up from all of those varieties of pepper seeds. I'm starting to worry a little bit that maybe there is going to be nothing coming up from those. These, on the other hand, are a much more recent planting, so nowhere near as concerning. Then, of course, I've got all those tomato starts in the back that still need homes. This, I can't wait till things start popping up in there. But, you know, seed starting, it's a waiting game, isn't it? So far, things under this mostly red LED light seem to be doing fairly well. I wouldn't say that I've noticed any distinct... Oh, actually, now that I say that, let's see how well we can focus in on the elderberry here. Because that right center of the screen is some new growth, and that right center of the screen is some new growth. So that's excellent. Certainly didn't notice that before. I don't know, like I said earlier, if this is ever coming back from where the cat put it, but we can hope. Dieffenbachia looks quite funky under this light. Might be time to wash the leaves. It's very dusty down here. But yeah, nice to finally be using that shelf again, putting those lights to use. I guess it's about 90 watts, give or take, pumping down on that shelf. I probably should raise it up a little bit, 'cause it's always better to have your plants a little bit closer to the light. But I've also got the option of lowering this down, because as I mentioned in a previous video, this is one of those adjustable height shelves. It's a pain in the butt to do it, but it can be done. So far, things in the land of tomato transplants seem to be doing alright-ish. You see this one here? I knocked over one of my cups and broke most of the seedlings, but there is a beefsteak right there in one of these little tiny containers, because I didn't want to necessarily fill up too large of a container with, as you can see, good old Manitoba mud crap soil, because I kind of ran out of the mixed stuff. So I was going through the big tote here, and I've got lots of clumps in here, and I'm still working on that. I found probably half a dozen worms so far, so that's good. Most of those went into the sand dollar. And I did mix myself up another batch of potting soil. I think it could still do with a little bit more Manitoba mud mixed through it, but it was pretty wet when I stopped earlier, so I'll get back to that in a little bit, because I still want to transplant that yellow scorpion right there into a nicer planter. And as it turns out, I can do that. I found this underneath a dead plant, but it's got a proper bucket, it's got proper drainage holes. I'm going to put a couple of 1-inch pipes in the bottom of that, so I've got some lift for proper drainage, and ta-da! The yellow scorpion will have a new home. In fact, let's just do that right now. So it was suggested to me that when I do these transplants, oh, that's pretty weak, I take the whole plant and dip it into the fish tank to try and wash the aphids off before I put it into the new planter. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do with this. The mint is probably fine, but this yellow scorpion definitely needs some cleaning. Once again though, once we get that pepper out of its soil, we can see that it was just soakered in there. So clearly I have been still overwatering my plants. I'm going to go wash this out in the fish tank. I've been kind of using the old fish tank here to wash roots and get stuff off of my hands. But we're going to put the actual aphids into the new fish tank. Give them a bit of a treat. Nice looking root cluster on there. So, wash, wash, wash. I can see a lot of aphids coming onto the surface here. I'm losing quite a few leaves. But if they're falling off, getting washed like this, they probably weren't that healthy to begin with. Here we have our new and improved and slightly cleaner yellow scorpion. And there we have a whole lot of little fishy snacks. Maybe they'll come out and visit. Probably not though. They really seem to like hiding underneath this thing. I've started to use this as an old no power aquaponics setup. Just pouring the water through it and hoping for the best. Kind of gets a little bit of light from the side here, so it's a mint, it doesn't need much. So to help encourage proper drainage, I've just got a couple of the 1-inch 90s that are going in there. And that'll give me plenty of room for that to drip down, so I don't end up with more mud situations. Now I didn't bring the tripod, so you're going to miss me actually filling this up, but you're familiar with how that works, I'm sure. Gotta remember to put the mint in this time though. And of course, messy Mr. Bear that I am, I got dirt all over the leaves, so just going to give it a quick spray. This is mostly fish water at this point. I haven't put any hydrogen peroxide in the last couple times I filled it up. So that'll also help clean off any soapy water or neem oil or whatever has been sprayed on this poor thing. So many times I've sprayed this thing. The fish seem to be the only thing that's really working though. Maybe that's just because I enjoy feeding the aphids to the fish, but I'll take it. If it works, I'll take it. Give it back its tag, and hopefully it's good to grow. Kind of looks like maybe there are a couple pieces that I should snip off here while we've got it front and center. And then that just leaves me with the question of how thoroughly should I water this? Should I give it a day or so to kind of adapt to its new environment? Or should I soak it right now? Let you guys get back to me on that one, and I'll follow the viewer's opinion. Let me know if I should soak it tonight or give it a day or two and see how it does on its own. And I have to say, much like the two beside it, it looks better in that slightly more appropriate soil than say the Sugar Rush Red does in its mud, or the El Oro in its mud. But even though it's in mud, it does seem to be doing a little bit better. Can't focus on it, but it does seem to be doing a little bit better since I've given it some drainage. So, all about hope, isn't it? But then again, when you get right down to it, almost all gardening is about hope. You put the seeds in the soil and you hope they sprout. You take your sprouts and you hope they survive the transplant. You take your transplants outside and you hope they survive the real weather. And then you spend a couple months hoping they're going to produce. You know, there was a study ages ago, and I wish I could quote the source, but I don't remember it, that basically suggests gardeners live longer than other people. You know why? Why I think it is anyway? Gardeners are always hoping for something. They're waiting for spring so they can do their next season of planting. They're waiting for fall so they can bring in this last season's harvest. There is always something going on in the life of a gardener. And on that note, I got a couple things that I need to get my butt to doing. But yeah, I've been doing a really good job of trying to keep these videos up every day now. This makes number 41. My second goal was 42 in a row, so that'll be tomorrow. So clearly, I'm going to be putting up something tomorrow. Might actually be putting up something, taking something down, because those trees outside have got to go, and I want to drop them while there's still snow. And as strange as the season has been, I don't know if we're getting an early spring, a late spring, or what, but I know there's snow out there right now, so I'm bringing at least a couple of those suckers down in the next few days. Yeah. Also from the world of what's coming up, Brother Troll tagged me in a 2018 garden improvements video, and I would love to respond to that. I would have done it today, but I finally got the Patreon thing live, so I figured, in theory, I should probably announce that today. So yeah, maybe tomorrow we'll look into the 2018 garden improvements, and I'm not going to say for sure when I'm going to bring those trees down, but it will be coming up soon while there's still snow. Alright everybody, on that note, I'm going to let you go for the day. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you want to check out the Patreon page, the link is down below. Yeah. Otherwise, it's Wednesday, so I hope to see you guys in the chat stream for the RevToast TV live thing. There's a Death Crispy challenge coming up. Alex from Alberta Pepper. I don't know if you guys know Alex, but you should go sub to his channel. Just type in Alberta, A-L-B-E-R-T-A, space Pepper, P-E-P-P-E-R, and you should find him. I don't think there's a lot of channels with that name, so odds are you'll find him. If you want to be sure, look for the channel that has the Arctic Pepper Lab updates. Unfortunately, right now, he's fighting some thrip issues, but I know how that goes, man. My heart goes out to you, Alex. Pests in your indoor garden. Oh, yeah. A lot of us feel your pain. All right. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. I think I've said that like 9 million times already, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.